You've seen the headlines, right? The panicked news reports, the social media threads all screaming the same thing. The AI job apocalypse is coming, that millions of us are about to be replaced by machines. It's a really powerful and, let's be honest, kind of terrifying idea. But what if the actual data tells a completely different story? Well, that's what we're going to dig into.
So let's just ask the question straight up. After all these years of predictions, is this it? Is the great technological takeover of human jobs finally happening? I mean, the anxiety is real, and it makes sense when you see how fast this AI stuff is moving.
But before we all get swept up in the panic, it's worth remembering we've been here before, a lot of times actually. Think about the early 1900s. The tractor didn't just replace horses on farms, it completely flipped the entire agricultural economy on its head. And yet, we adapted. And here's the key thing that gets lost in all the noise. We are not horses. We can learn, we can adapt, we can invent whole new ways of working.
And that brings us to the real heart of this whole thing, the evidence. It suggests we're not actually facing an apocalypse. We're facing something else, a massive, economy-wide transformation that experts are calling structural churn. See, this isn't about jobs simply vanishing into thin air. It's about them fundamentally changing.
Now let's be super clear. The disruption is going to be immense. The World Economic Forum projects that by 2030, technology is on track to displace a staggering 92 million jobs around the world. That is a huge number, and it absolutely validates the concern people are feeling.
But that's only half the story, because in that exact same time frame, those very same forces are expected to create 170 million brand new roles. Just think about that. The scale of job creation is nearly double the scale of displacement.
So here's the bottom line. When you do the math, we're not looking at a net loss of jobs. We're actually looking at a net gain of 78 million jobs worldwide. The future isn't one of scarcity, it's one of massive, massive reallocation.
And this is what structural churn really is. It's this idea that nearly a quarter of all jobs aren't just going to go away, they're going to be completely reshaped. Your job title might even stay the same, but the things you do every day and the skills you need to do them, they're going to shift dramatically.
You know, Till Leopold from the World Economic Forum puts it perfectly. He says this moment holds both unprecedented opportunities and profound risks. So the challenge isn't that there's no work. The challenge is figuring out how we all navigate this transition to grab those new opportunities.
Okay, so if the job market is this giant churning ocean, where do you want to be standing, right? Where are the safe harbors in this storm? Let's take a look at what the data says about the most resilient careers.
This chart gives us a really powerful way to understand this new world. It's not about avoiding AI. The key word is complementarity. How well do your skills work with AI? So, look at the top left. Lawyers, surgeons, they have high exposure to AI, for sure. An AI can read legal docs or medical scans way faster than a person. But it augments their abilities. It doesn't replace their judgment or their skill. That partnership leads to better work and, higher pay. Now, look at the bottom right. Telemarketers, data entry. High exposure, but low complementarity. AI can just do the core task better and cheaper, which leads to displacement. The real safe zones are where our unique human skills boost AI's power.
And this way of thinking points to some very clear sectors. Healthcare is booming. Aging populations need more care. The green transition is creating this huge demand for new energy specialists like solar and wind technicians. Skilled trades, electricians, plumbers, they're protected because it's really expensive and hard to automate physical, real-world work. And, of course, high-trust professions that need complex judgment, they're being augmented, not replaced.
This all brings up a really basic question. What is it that we can do that machines, at least for now, just can't? Well, some researchers at MIT developed a framework to answer that exact question.
They call it the EPOCH framework. It's a simple acronym for the 5 core human skills that aren't just surviving, they're actually becoming more valuable because of AI.
Let's just run through them real quick. E is for empathy. That's the core of healthcare, right? What a nurse gives a patient. P is for presence, the skilled hands and problem-solving of a plumber who shows up at your house. O is for opinion. That's the strategic judgment of a lawyer figuring out a complex case. C is for creativity, the spark of a scientist discovering something new. And H is for hope, the vision and motivation that a great leader gives their team. See? These are the skills that give us our human advantage.
This quote from MIT Sloan's research just nails it. The more a job relies on these deep human abilities, the more secure and valuable it's going to be. The trick is to lean into what makes us human.
So, okay, what does this all actually mean for you and your career path? How do you get ready for this new world? Because the old model, the straight linear career ladder, it's breaking down.
First, there is a huge financial incentive to learn this stuff. Research shows that workers with AI skills can see a big wage premium. In some specialized jobs, it's as high as 56% compared to their peers in the exact same role. Becoming AI fluent isn't just about survival, it's about thriving. It's probably one of the best investments you can make in yourself right now.
A really great way to think about this is to see AI not as your replacement, but as your most powerful tool, right? A carpenter isn't replaced by a power saw, they become a better, faster carpenter by mastering it. The same is true for all of us. The most important skill is learning how to use these new tools to make ourselves better.
And this visual, this just says it all. We need to move away from being eye-shaped, having deep expertise in just one single thing. The future belongs to comb-shaped people who have a broad base of knowledge with multiple deep skills. This is what it means to build a career lattice, not just climb a single ladder. It just makes you so much more resilient.
Ultimately, this quote from Professor Roger Kneebone really captures the whole story. The future isn't a battle of humans versus machines. It's a partnership. The people and the companies that win are going to be the ones who figure out the best ways to make humans and AI collaborate.
So let's end on this thought. The debate about whether AI will take your job is, well, it's the wrong question. The real question, the one we should all be asking ourselves, is way more personal and, frankly, way more empowering. How are you going to partner with AI to reinvent and redefine your work for the incredible decade ahead?